everybody see my screen? The
Yes.
PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
That's fine. So if I will go quickly through this presentation. I have been told that this presentation will be later shared to all the registered participants of this seminar workshop. So if you want to dive a bit deeper, you can look later. You can check the slide later on. But I'm also happy if you interrupt me, Kurt. We have a quick question. So yeah, please just say, Kurt, stop for a second. What is this? What is that? And then I can can dive a little bit deeper. So there are about some 15 to 20 slides, probably too much for a 20-minute presentation. So yes, I will rush through the one or other slide quickly, but anyway, once you want to interrupt me, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I guess all the participants know what is b2match. They have registered on this Desire platform, so they are part of this b2match community. b2match is an event management platform and a community management platform. So yeah, some 80% of our clients use it for events, some 20% for community features. Here you see the 9 most relevant features of b2match. We have a website builder, registration, innovation management, ticketing and processing. It's not relevant for this platform. We have a very important rich content participant and company profile, so the participant can indicate what they are doing about the organization, etc. We can present exhibitors, partners, sponsors that can be easily involved in events and also in communities. Of course, one of our DNA is the networking, the matchmaking itself. Of course, the marketplace, that's also important, that participant organization can publish their products, their services, their project. For the event organizer, we have the email messaging system. And last but not least, you also have data analytics and reporting. You can export all the data with one click in an Excel file. You get some reports, etc. So these are the 9 major features of b2match. How does networking works? I guess it's rather simple. I should not spend too much time. Participant register, then after a while they start matchmaking, sending meeting requests to each other via the booking features, and then the meetings are scheduled, and at the event itself the meeting are scheduled at the event. On the community platform, the meeting are scheduled over the whole year. So for an event, you have the matchmaking is usually dedicated to an afternoon or one day, and for a community platform, the matchmaking takes place the whole year. So the participant can decide whenever they like to have the one-to-one meetings. I go to the next slide. What is b2match? The typical application range, as I already mentioned, for events, platform, or event community platform, or just for events. We offer b2match in 3 different types: virtual, in-person events, and hybrid. Typical use cases are job fairs, career fair, exhibitor and sponsors, hosted buyer program. We do a lot of startup investor events. And of course, the community platform, they are to build, to group a community, to foster a community, etc. Yeah, value adds matchmaking, post-event matchmaking, or a whole year matchmaking for events, mobile check-in, customers, etc. But it's not so relevant, I guess. Here are the b2match features in detail. Probably I will skip this this screen. If you go to the b2match website, b2match.com, you find this screenshot. As this screen you will find on b2match.com in the feature list, and there you see some screenshot and more. So I think I will skip this and go to some more interesting pages. Probably why is b2match rather prominent, and why do many event organizers use b2match? Get the feedback, especially for events, from event organizers. The most important needs of event participant is the networking. If you go to an event, of course, you want to listen to the pitch better, to the keynotes, you want to listen to the one or other workshops, but many clients tell us they go for event to establish new connection, to establish business connection, to find partner for products, for buyer, seller, for projects, for EU projects. You find partner, find consortia looking for partners. So the networking is a crucial issue on events and also on communities. In the past, the networking has been done during the coffee break, during the lunch break. People were starting talking to each other, but the real problem was how to identify the most proper person on a big event with 300 participants. In 2 weeks, we have a big Eureka event in Istanbul. Currently, there are 1,100 participants registered. They expect 2,000 participants at this Eureka event in Istanbul at the beginning of June. How you want to identify the perfect match among 2,000 participants. This is impossible. But with B2Match, each participant has the chance to present the company, the organization, to present their project, their partnership requests, their investment opportunities, their products, their service. So what I want to say, you can see it here in the red box, B2Match, making business opportunities visible to attendees. So that is one of the key issues, the key purpose of B2Match. You, on a big event, you don't find the right people. So if you don't have a platform where you can browse, search for the best matches, then so B2Match helps to find the right people at the event. And of course, we do the matchmaking. You can do chats on the events or the platform. You can send meeting requests. That's the typical features of B2Match. For example, here you have a short summary, event attendees wish list. Of course, exciting presentation, workshops, possibility to present their own company, collaborate with other participants, initiate business contacts through one-to-one meetings. And of course, some club participants want to have plenty of meetings. You know, to have a successful collaboration, you have to meet you have to have 5 to 10 matches which finally result in 1 or 2 agreements. So usually with one match alone, you want to set up an agreement. Usually you have to talk to several people to find finally the proper one. And of course, last but not least, an easy to use web and mobile application. Are there some questions from your side regarding this core B2Match features, making the business opportunity visible to attendees? So that's one of the most serious matters B2Match is offering. If there are no questions, then I will jump to the next slide. Here, how do attendees benefit from B2B matchmaking pool? As I think I don't want to go through all these single points. Just a few comments from participants. So these are real life comments. So we checked for our own events, the feedback, and some clients told us a perfect chance to arrange B2B meetings also for event visitors not having an own exhibition stand. So we do also a lot of exhibition, and buying an exhibition stand to have meetings, you have to pay 5, 10, 20,000 euros. And if you're just an event visitor or exhibition visitors, how you can present yourself. B2Match allows you to present yourself for an exhibition, even you don't have a booth. Another client message, I like the methodology of being able to analyze the published collaboration opportunities in order to prepare for the meetings before the event. That's also a big advantage if you use B2Match. You can see already before the event who is attending, who is looking for partnerships, who is offering products, innovative services, looking for partnership, etc., etc. So these are the some of the core messages. Probably the third one, then I stop already. The format is convincing. I could arrange 10 plus business talks in one day in one location. So you can meet 5 to 10 people from all over Europe in one day and one location. That's also fine if you do the matching. Otherwise, you have to visit the companies on site. Yeah, you have to travel around Europe, and this is from the time and from the investments not feasible. How do conference organizers benefit from the matchmaking? If you use B2Match, the event organizers the event has a higher visibility, and we know that if you use, for example, a matchmaking tool or event management tool, you usually have more registrations. So some participant told me, I was checking the agenda, was interesting, but I didn't want to travel from Zurich to Stockholm just because of 1 or 2 nice keynotes. But then I browsed the participant list. I found 3, 4 interesting companies I want to meet with, and that was for me the trigger to travel from Zurich to Stockholm to meet the companies. So B2match the companies. If you set the visibility of the company visible to the whole world, then participant can browse already before the event who is attending. And usually some clients, some companies decide to go to event based on the participant list. So my tip for you, if you have to do an own event and you want to maximize the participant number, keep the participant list public open. Due to the GDPR, this is in line with the GDPR. By registering to B2Match, you have to click the checkbox, and the checkbox says, if you read further, your profile is visible to other participants or to those who visit the website. So yeah, there's no GDPR issues if you want to make the company profiles public. By the way, phone number, email address, etc., some private data are not shared with other visitors of the website. Okay, let's go further. I think I don't have to talk about on-site, virtual, and hybrid. Before Corona, everything was on-site. During Corona, everything was virtual, and now we are a bit in the hybrid world. You can customize B2Match hybrid, so the participant can indicate if they want to attend on-site or remote. The advantage of hybrid event, you have double the number. The number of participants are usually double because it's easier to join via video or via live stream to an event instead of traveling from Paris to Berlin, booking a flight, reserving hotels, being 2 days off office, etc. So yeah, if you want to maximize the number of participants, you should probably consider having an event in a hybrid format. So those who really want to be on site, you attend on site, and those who just want to listen to the one-word keynote or manage one-to-one meetings via video call, then hybrid is a fine approach. So currently some 50% of our events are hybrid, some are virtual, and also we have good number of on-site events again after Corona is gone. Quickly, B2Match, we have two products. The one product is events. So event typically takes 2-3 days, and then the event is gone. You have a pre-event time of 2-3 months. You set up the event platform in February. The event takes place in June. After 3-4 months, people register. In the last 3-4 weeks, you do the matchmaking or the networking. In contrast, the community platform, this is something similar like an event, but it's open the whole year. The participant can register and book their meeting the entire year from January to December. On top, you can have several webinars. So it's similar to an event, but it's for a whole year, and usually it's community is dedicated to a specific project where you want to bring together a specific group of participants. If you have questions, please, once again, interrupt me and I can go deeper if you like. So event community. B2Match offers plenty of search filters to identify the proper cooperation partner. So you can search a B2Match event or a B2Match community by some participant group, let's say startup, investors, or corporate. Or if you want to dive deeper, you can search for industry companies, SMEs, startups, investor, finance, universities, etc., etc. Then we go for the areas of activities. The areas of activities are customized for each single event. Of course, a life science event has a different set of business options than an automotive event or an environment event. What's interesting with the participant group, based on the participant group classification, we can extend the registration form with additional questions. For example, if you are registered as an investor, then you get some investor-related questions. What type of investor do you represent? Venture capital, business angel, family office, etc. In which projects do you invest? Discovery phase, pre-seed, seed, Series A phase, etc., etc. Similar for startup. If you register as a startup, then you have to answer some startup-specific questions. So that's what I want to say. You can customize the registration form of a B2Match event or community perfectly on the group of participants. So depending on the group, you have the proper questions. The startup question doesn't make any sense for investor. That's why investor will never see the startup questions. But of course, the investor can search for the questions of the startup. So if a startup says the startup question was growth level, pre-seed, seed, early stage growth, then an investor can search for organization type startup, growth level, let's say early stage. There are investors who only invest in early stage or growth. Then the investor can quickly quickly identify those startups which fit to their investment cases. In this, let's say, early stage or growth. And the same for corporate, you can ask whatever else. And of course, we have questions you can ask everyone. What are your lunch preferences? So this is you have fish, meat, or vegetables. So these are typical questions you ask everyone at an event. But probably the lunch preferences for a community doesn't make sense for an online event, but for an on-site event, yeah, it helps you. It gives good information for the caterer what he should prepare. So these are some typical search filters. Here you can see again, so we can search the companies for the based on organization settings, or we can search the company profiles based on the business opportunity, based on the marketplace. And as seen in the boxes, everything is highly customizable in b2match. Just a moment, I have an issue. So here. The marketplace, this is one of the DNA of b2match. With the marketplace, the participant can publish their products, their services, their projects, their investments, their expertise. And by the way, you as an event organizer, you can customize by the way, we do a lot of research events in Brussels, Horizon Europe. And then the usually event organizers tell us, we don't want that participant can publish products or services. We just allow project cooperation and expertise. Project cooperations are more sought for the consortia. Expertise are sought for partners who would like to join a consortia, and where they present their expertise. By the way, I'm now talking 10 minutes in a row. Are you still here? Are you still alive? Can somebody give me a short feedback, because I don't see your faces. I just see my slides.
Yes.
You're here.
Yes,
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
we
Because
are.
there was so much silence. That's why I just want to double check if you're still here, or if the internet is broken and I'm talking to my screen, but
No.
I have lost the audience. So the marketplace is really a crucial one of the outstanding b2match features. It allows definitely to shape what are your offering or looking for. That's crucial for a matchmaking, for a networking, bringing people together, bringing organization together. You have to know what is this person looking for or offering in respect to projects or services or expertise. By the way, 70 to 80% of the one-to-one meeting requests are initiated by the marketplace. So we did some analysis of some events in some 2-3 years ago, and then we realized a lot of meeting requests are triggered by the marketplace. If you don't publish a marketplace, if you just say we are a company, we are a startup, and we are developing environmental technology, usually this is too less to get a good number of meeting requests. So if you want to get a good number of meeting requests, you should write a bit more about your organization, and you should publish 1 or 2 marketplace profiles. It doesn't matter if it's a product, a service, or a project, or expertise, but our clients who looking for partnership, who book meetings, definitely check the marketplace for interesting publications. Okay, now that I stop now with the features of b2match. Now a few minutes about event management, and then I hand over the presentation to the next speaker. Brokerage event, relevant things to consider. So setting up a brokerage event is a bit a challenge. As you can see here with the bullet points, I did this list some 10 years ago. I prepared this list for the Enterprise Europe network. So I was working 15 years for the Enterprise Europe network, and one of their major issues is also managing brokerage event, matchmaking events, and so we had a small working group. What is crucial for a brokerage event, and it starts with the event concept, event preparation. Then it's the next thing, the registration phase, recruiting participant. The target is a high number of participants. Identify and activate the relevant promotion channel, pre-registration of regional companies before starting the promotion. If the website is already pre-filled with interesting company profiles, as I mentioned, then the likelihood that some additional participant will register is much higher. Involve the Enterprise Europe network for recruiting participants. So if you take an Enterprise Europe network partner on board, then you have a higher reach in Europe. You can expect more participants attending your event. Involve stakeholders, clusters, business agencies, etc., and ask them to make some promotion mailing announcing your event or your community platform. That's also very helpful. Check quality and content of submitted profile. This is a bit time-consuming task. That's why you should have co-organizers supporting your community or your event, which you can hand over to the e.g. French partner. Please help me with the French client. I concentrate on the Austrian or German client. You please concentrate on the French client. Then you have the booking phase, matchmaking booking, target high number of bilateral meetings. Minimums 3-4 mailings to initiate and facilitate the booking process, direct contacts to participants who have not made any booking yet. So the Austrian co-organizer should contact the Austrian client, the Swedish co-organizer should contact the Swedish client, so you can share the workload. And the one or other phone call really helps. And especially also we usually call clients who received 5 or 10 meeting requests but have not confirmed any of them. So those clients who received 5 to 10 meeting requests, you should contact in any case by phone and ask, hey, what's going on? You have received 5 to 10 meeting requests. Why you don't either confirm them or reject them? I have no problem if a client reject a meeting request. Not every meeting request is relevant for you, so you reject them. But if you get 5 or 10 requests, you should at least the one or other accept and some of them reject. Just having them 10 meeting requests in a pending state, that's a no-go. That's why in such a case the organizer should contact the client and ask him, hey, do you check this request? Do you take them seriously? Or some client told me, I don't log in, I'm so busy. Then I say, why you register and why you want to do matchmaking if you're so busy? But anyway, that's another story. Set deadlines, close the event, as registration and booking often made last minute. So in 10 years ago, we closed the booking and registration a week before the event. In the meantime, b2match recommends keep the registration and booking open until the last day. Some EN partner even keep the registration and booking open at the day of the event. Participant can use the mobile app to do some last minute on-site bookings with the mobile app. Confirmation of participation, that's a very crucial point, because especially if a client who has 10 scheduled meetings, contact those people if they really come for sure on site or attend the event. Because if a participant having 10 meetings doesn't show up, 10 other participants are unhappy due to the no-show. There are some more tips and advice for the events and feedback. I don't want to go through this. The ICS team will share my slides to you, and so you can later on go through this bullet point a bit more in detail. What is the next slide? Yes, brokerage event, what you can do, mailings, checks, phone calls, probably. I also don't go in detail through this. It's a bit more of the same I already mentioned in the previous slide. Please have a look at this slide. Here are some tips and advice how you can push the registration figures, how you can push the booking figures. What else? Bilateral meetings. There are some tips and advice how to maximize the bilateral meeting numbers. So in general, more participants, more meetings, and if people don't register for the matchmaking sessions, send an email to all the participants who have not yet registered for the matchmaking. Tell them tell them you have not yet registered for matchmaking. This means you cannot send meeting requests and you cannot receive meeting requests. So you should try to convert people who had just registered for the keynotes or for the workshops to also join the matchmaking session. And there are some more tips about the mailings, etc. But yeah, you can see that in the slides. Okay, I guess that was my presentation. I guess I was a little bit fast. Do you have some specific questions? So how come I back to my give me a second. I have to go back to my I'm here back. Stop.
So if,
Yes, thank you for your time joining my presentation. Are there some questions? Or
so if there are no questions, then we may continue, and maybe we have other questions upcoming that also Kurt can answer if we don't have the answer, because now we are diving into like the back end and front end of b2match. So I will start sharing my screen to show you a bit how the backend looks and what we are doing. We have currently, as you can see, if I can click here on what are my active events, and I see that currently I have it says here hybrid event ongoing. This is our community platforms from Desire that you all have registered to. You don't see here like indicated that it's a community platform, and then we have two physical events upcoming one that is also with ticketing, so you can always see here what is the revenue that is currently it's the current income, or that is that was currently paid by the participants. To start, to go back into the back end, you see on the left side you have all the different tabs to choose from. So you have the dashboard that shows you what is the activity, then you see your registrations ongoing, how are the meetings ongoing, and then you can go really into deep in a lot of different analysis, what happened when, which days. For the start, actually the most important thing is the configuration. So the configuration is very self-speaking. So you have the event title, short description, you have a date and the location. If you have a community platform, usually you don't display the dates because it's ongoing and we don't have a location. And you can choose the website language. Then if we go later on, we go to participant types. You also see that you can also check here, you can add visibility rules for the participant types, can enable messaging, and you could also work with analytics or reporting from Google. So for the event navigation, you can choose here what is on the, if we go to the event website, so everything that is here on top, this is you see here in the back end. And you can also choose, is this publicly visible or is it only visible if you are registered? You can also change the visibility for the participant type. Then for the promotion settings, you can set the topic. This is what Kurt showed you before, how you will be found in the b2match platform if they are screening for events. You can add a banner, you can set the logo on the footer, and you can also link to social media. You can also choose a general theme that often goes hand in hand with your logo or whatever, or your organization, company design, whatever you would like to choose. And you can also set these footer colors, header colors, and also the footer that you see down there. And then you can add you can connect domains. So at another event where we have our ticketing, we have a domain that we set always for this event or that we specifically bought for this event, and you can always change this automatically generated or at the start generated domain with the b2match.io that is always there if you set up a b2match, but you can connect it to a specific domain. And for the participant type, for the participant, the first thing is obviously the registration. So you can say when will be the registration open, when will it be closed, will it be public or only private. Then you need to send out invitation links. Yeah, you can choose if the participants need to choose between on-site or remote, or if the attendance type can be both, so they don't have to choose. And you can also choose if the participants are automatically activated or manually. So I would always go for a manual activation because unfortunately, as you know, everyone can register to the event. So it's always good to check if there's not someone who would like to spam your organization, your event, or your community. You can also do this for marketplace opportunity validation to validate it manually. This is what we are usually not doing. And as Kurt already mentioned, mainly we are going for participants are automatically visible so that also other people are enhanced to register for the event or for the community. You can also set session registration rules. For example, if you would have an startup pitching event for investor, you could say that only startups and investors could register. But you can set up as many participant types as you want, and also therefore give out unlimited registration rules. You see that we are usually not using it. But if I go for our biotech summit, for example, where we also have a ticketing, the participant type can be very useful or in another way as well, because for the tickets, you can set different tickets that you can link to specific participant types. So this is really, really useful. For once, you can say that you have maybe different categories where they are paying less or more, and additional, so that they have to choose the participant type. You could also verify that. This is what we also did. So first they have to register, and then you have to enable the payment. This has its limitation because often they overlook the email that they get, so that they don't realize that they got an email that says enable payment, and then you have to message them again, please check your payment is now enabled. But what you can also do is that you can make the participant types hidden, and you can send them these invitation links. For example, we use it here for the speakers. So the speakers have free tickets. We send them these invitation links, and then they only have the option to choose from their free tickets. And no one else can access these tickets. And this is a really useful opportunity. Of course, you can additionally work with promotion codes. So you can add endless number of promotion codes. You just have to type something, whatever you want like to choose here. You can set the discount percentage, or you can add a discount amount. You can also set the limit if it's like 2 times for 2 tickets valuable or valid, or for more, and you can also give it a start or expire date. So if you work with payments or tickets, this is all really useful. And what is very useful that we use in our event is that we connect it to Stripe, so the integration to Stripe. So the companies can directly pay with their credit card, and you don't need to take care about anything else. So they will pay through the system, and then you will get the notification in the participants. So if we look, for example, in one of the participants, let's see, you see here credit card and that it's already paid. You can also give the option for bank transfer. This is a bit more work, obviously, because you have to confirm here the payment. So they will get the uh, information that you set here. If you say payment via invoice is also possible. And then you have to check the bank account that is mentioned here if they already paid. Can also connect PayPal. We have not used it, but I guess that it's working similar to Stripe. And you can also add here an invoice, how it will look like. And you can also give them the option that they can only choose a single ticket. So if you, like in our event, we have different tickets for the evening event and the main event or side events. So then we are not using this option. Yeah, as Kurt mentioned, you could also work with sponsors. This we have not done yet. And you always need to add organization types. So this is something where you can help yourself to then set additional rules, or it's also for the marketplace quite useful that they can look for these organization types. And even more useful is the areas of activity. Unfortunately, you always have to add this hand in like yourself, so manually each one, unless you have an existing event where you would like to reuse these areas of activities. And then what Kurt already mentioned, you could set these custom questions that you asked before. You can also set them on mandatory or not, and also only for certain participant types, or this is possible. Then, as Kurt already mentioned, it's mainly an event platform, but you can also use it as a community platform. But we have also encountered some limitations at the community platform because it's designed as an event platform. And I would also like to mention this because we have worked with some workarounds that are useful. Maybe there will also be some updates in this in the future for b2match. But one is that if they register on, you have the community platform, and maybe as we did today, you want to promote one single event. So for some, it can be confusing that they first have to register for the community event, and how they navigate then to the event that is there and how to add it. We have worked with that you can use this logo session and add a, a picture of the upcoming event and because the logo you can always add with a link, and then you can say, okay, there's this upcoming event, and if you click here, you are there at the event. You can also explain how it's working. Another one is what they used here in this Horizon Europe Community Austria, is that they also use they integrate here also an ICS file. So this is also a limitation that you should be aware of, that if you register for an event in b2match, you don't have it in your Outlook calendar, for example. There are no, you can synchronize your calendar with it, but then you have in your Outlook a specific calendar that is called Desire Community, and it's not in your main calendar. So you need to be aware of this. And yeah, and then also with the matchmaking, we have also encountered a difficulty that maybe Lisa will then mention when she talks more into detail about the matchmaking. Yeah, one thing that is missing is you probably seen that the front end. So if you click here on website editor, you can quite easily work on these pages. So you have the pages here. You can also set different the visibility rules. And if you click on here, you can just work in the text. You can add files. You can add links. This is very intuitive. It has its limitations, but therefore it's also easy to work with. Yeah, I actually kind of enjoy working with it because it's so easy to handle. And one more thing I wanted to add is that, for example, in one event, we also have a limitation that we have individual consultation meetings with a funding agency. And there's this limitation that unfortunately you cannot organize meetings. So you cannot say I want to have offer these meetings with this person, because the two people, they always have to arrange the meeting. So which we used as a workaround, that we added the individual consultation meetings with here in the agenda, and then you can add the one person that is the speaker that is doing the consultation, and once you can set the participant limit to two people, and then once someone added it, then you see you cannot add it anymore. You see here are still some slots available. So this is shown by this gray and green color. So this is how we use this workaround for this. With the participants, you can use the advanced search filtering for almost anything. So this is super useful. You can check who attended for what. You can also check if they made a mistake. You can see the payments. You can, if they had a typo, you can change it. You can add them here, for example, as a speaker, and if yes, you can add the speaker bio. You can choose the session where they are a speaker. You can upload the presentation. Can have a speakers page on the front page, and change the position here. So yeah, all of this is then also here possible here in the agenda. So in the agenda, you can always choose, is it a regular session or is it a meeting session? Is it also, is it online or offline? So if it's online, as we said here for our meeting today, for example, we can use the integrated, let's check where we are here. You can use the video conferencing, and if you say video conferencing is here, you can use the integrated video conferencing that we are using now and then already select the recording, or you can add an external link, whatever you would like to prefer, so Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, Teams, whatever you would like to use. And then there are many more settings. You can do prevent overlapping so that people don't register to two parallel tracks if they have to choose. You can publish it, or you can previously work on it. You can add it to registration or later add it. Yeah. So this was a quite deeper look into b2match and the back end. Feel free to ask any questions, and if you don't have any questions, you can also reach out to me afterwards. And with that, I would like to hand over to Lisa.
Thank you, Pascal. Are there any questions? If not, I will continue, but please interrupt me at all times if you want to know something or if you have a question in mind. Please do not hesitate to interrupt me. So now I will share the screen. So I hope it works already, but I think you should see it. Maybe a little background information on myself that helps you understand why I will talk a lot about the matchmaking settings and the B2B meetings. So I work as EU project manager with ICS, and ICS is a partner of the Enterprise Europe Network, Kurt already mentioned today. So SNDEN, which is basically Europe's biggest business support network for SMEs. Our main goal or aim is to match our regional companies with the right business partners in foreign countries. So my main experience with B2Match lies in setting up platforms for this purpose and organize B2B meetings or matchmakings, how they're called. So Pascal already showed you the configurator. So the first step would be, if you have a matchmaking or plan one, to either prepare it for one event, because mostly these matchmaking events happen, they're standalone events, of course, too, but mostly they're integrated into a conference or a fair, or as we have it with Desire, we're doing the long-term matchmaking for our community platform, but also organizing separate events. So the first thing, which is really important, is to consider the booking time frame and define it. Our experience is, I mean, here you see it for Desire, so it's, and we have activated the long-term matchmaking, so you see it's a longer period now. But normally, if it's for one event, we're opening the booking phase no longer than 1 month before the event, because otherwise it will be too early, and most of the participants and the registered persons, they start with booking the meetings only not so soon before the event. Let's say even sometimes we activate it 2 weeks before the event. So if you can see here, you have different setups. So the request mode you can define, so that they have to be accepted or rejected by the participants themselves. Then for the scheduling, we leave them free, so they can request meetings with whomever they want, and reschedule it, of course, to find another appointment time. And what we have done is to activate this long-term matchmaking. And here there's a little problem for us, which popped up, which Pascal already wanted to mention before. So if you want to schedule a B2B, if you're using it as a community platform and you want to schedule a B2B event with fixed time slots or only one event, create only one matchmaking event, you have to disable in the meantime the long-term matchmaking function, because otherwise you cannot tell who registered for the one event and who can be booked. So this is a little bit tricky because there is no real filter for that except for us as organizers, but the participants themselves, they cannot really filter it. And if it is deactivated and they are looking for the other participants to book meetings with, they can do it and they see only those that have registered for the event. It's like shown as a green button, and then you can request meeting with this person. Yes, so that's a little bit tricky. Then there are some booking rules. Of course, we let them open so everybody can book meetings with everybody. It's better to leave them some space and some decision. Then what you can do too is to define booths. This is great, for example, for exhibitors, so they can have meetings at their booth, and it will appear in the scheduler. I will show you the scheduler later on. It will appear there as an own table that you're fixing. So that is basically the first steps we're doing. Then in the agenda, of course, you will then define it as a session. We have it, for example, here, B2B Desire Meets Nordic Access, which has been a separate B2B event. You can define if it's hybrid, online or on-site, of course, as you can see here. Then if it's here, it was an online session, so you don't have to define the tables, but normally you have also to define how many tables you need. And you can define, of course, the meeting length. Yes, which will be also crucial to define the number of tables, of course. And for the online meetings, which is very useful, is there's an integrated tool, like we have it here in the video conferencing. And with this tool, you need only a camera and a microphone to participate and to hold your meetings. So then what we're doing, next step, if we have arranged all configuration and we put it up in the agenda, it's really crucial, as Kurt mentioned, to encourage the participants to firstly sign up for B2B meetings, and secondly, to encourage them to book meetings. And what we find really useful here, I will show it to you with another event, which happened last year. We're doing it mainly via mailings and communication over b2match. So what we like to do is there are some, you can have notifications. These are configured, already pre-configured mails by b2match that are sent out to the participant, but we recommend definitely to disable unnecessary notifications to avoid spamming the participants, because sometimes they're annoyed if they get too many reminders and too many mails from b2match, and then they don't react to the important ones. So we prefer to do, as you can see here, these are individual mailings created by us. And our hint would be definitely, if you create such a mail, I will open one, like we did here, one to join the B2B event. So the B2B event, so a reminder, thanks for registration, but why should you join up the B2B sessions? And to write these mailings, it's definitely good to use an editor program when copying the text from other formats, because then you can reformat it here. We prepare always a time and content plan for our mailings. So here with moving on, for example, with the event, we had first some mailings on people to encourage them to join the event. We did it in this case. You can also filter, of course, the participants to whom you send it. So here we made a difference between the international ones, where we wrote an English mail, and then the German ones, German-speaking countries, where we wrote it in German, for example. But normally we do it also fully in English. Then we had a few weeks later encouragement to book meetings and edit the profiles, because it's also very important to have a good profile. So be aware to remind the participants to set it up correctly and put in as much precise information on the organization as they can. Of course, then it's also important to check that they accept or cancel meeting requests, of course. And that's, of course, nobody has too many pending meetings in the line. So this is one way to encourage them. Of course, we also call them, but I think it's a very useful tool from b2match. And also in the last mails, could mention that there is a b2match app. So we really include also the information about this app in the mailings to encourage them to book meetings until the last minute and also on the spot. And what is also very important for our B2B events is in the participant section, the predefined filters. You can filter them. I can show you, maybe filter, let's see, for example, for events or B2B matchmakings, you can filter it along, for example, here you see the registered participants. If you want only those that are validated or visible show up, then you have to click here. Then you can, I mean, these types we take all every time, but you can, of course, then if you have a B2B event with EEN partners and you have all the support offices for the different countries, then you can, as also support office, choose, for example, only the UK companies, and then you can also choose, of course, those that have scheduled meetings, not scheduled except pending meetings, so, and those that are participating and not participating, to send out the right mails. And of course, you can also select along the countries. It's way down here, for example, you can also choose countries and maybe organization type if it's interesting for you. So you have a really broad range to choose from, and you can edit this filter and you can select it and save this filter, which is really important because you need it maybe for the later exportation and reporting issues. Which is also pretty useful. So then coming, if you have done the mailings and the event is happening, there is a scheduler too to arrange the tables for the meeting. So if you have set, for example, a certain number of tables, then you get it here. So here we had, see, maybe I find an event which we can see. Yes, it's from the 25th of April. We had a company mission to the UK. You see here we have defined 10 tables, although we didn't need them. But then along the tables and the time slots we set, the meetings are then automatically set and scheduled, but you can also do it manually if you want and if you prefer it. For on-site events, of course, they're shown the tables here, and if there is a booth, then the booth will be shown beneath here. So then for the B2B meetings, another thing that is really important are the meetings, of course, the meeting section. Here you have an overview of the persons that are meeting. If the meeting has been accepted, gives you all the information about that. If meetings have been accepted, which meetings have been scheduled or not, which are the past meetings and meetings now. Often we're using this function if we have an online B2B event, then we're like as organizers, we try to see if both show up, and if they don't show up, we go into the meeting and try to reach the person the other one is looking for or still waiting for. So you can see then if you have the two here, if you click on it, you have all the information. There's no phone number, but normally they have their phone number here, so you can call them and say, hey, you have a meeting, please join it. And so yes, you create a positive atmosphere also for the one who is waiting, and most of the time the participants are very thankful if you help them and if you try to get their meeting partner ready. So which is really great accomplishment, I think. Pascal already mentioned something about the video conferencing, but maybe a few words to the tool we're using right now. So within the agenda, you see it. So for online events that are directly organized via the b2match platform, it is a very useful tool. It is called Daily. So the participants only need a camera and microphone to participate. The recording is possible and very easy to handle, but there are also some lags, I would say. because sometimes it would be really useful to do breakout sessions, which is not possible with this tool. Also, the participants have a lot of rights. If you're organizing a webinar, for example, they can always unmute themselves and share documents and the screen, so everybody can do it. So they have nearly the same rights as the organizers. And what we discovered too, it is not possible to share the whole screen. You can only share windows or tabs, because then you get numerous tabs, so multiple will pop out. So yes, but what is also great is that the organizers can access the video conferencing and the event separately through the backend, of course. So as today, so we use this access here, join online, and you can also test it beforehand. So as soon as you set up the event, you can always try and join online and make some tests if everything works, which is also not so bad. And what is really important as well for us as EEN and as organizers of such a matchmaking event is the export function of b2match. So you can export all kinds of data, either in Excel files or in PDF files. So for example, here the participants data, which is really useful. So you can either export the data of all participants, or along your predefined filters in the participant section, you can do it for singular events and B2B meetings, etc. And also for, of course, groups of participants from one country. And it gives you then data about the profiles of the companies registered, the meetings they had with other firms, and also the feedback after the meeting. So it's really useful. And then you have as well some PDF documents, for example, the schedules. We tend to send the participants registered for the B2B their schedules with their meetings booked, and also sometimes the participants catalog, so that they can go through it and have a look who is registered and with whom they can book meetings. So this was quite a quick overview over the most important tools for me and for us as EN. Do you have any questions in the meantime?
No question at the moment. Maybe everyone is already an expert, or they are just overwhelmed with information.
Yes, maybe.
I have one remark regarding the community feature. Today we had a meeting where our team collected all the feedback regarding the shortcomings of the community, and in the next few months we will solve several community issues. So I expect that we get an upgrade of the community features by in autumn, early winter. So yes, we listen to our clients. So if you share feedback to b2match, we collect it, we put it together, and if we see this feedback comes from more than 5 or 10 clients, then we see it's a real issue, and then we really try to solve these issues. So the limitation and shortcomings of communities, we are aware of some of them, and we are looking at them and try to solve them in the next months.
Great to hear.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks. Good. Yeah, I think if there are any more questions, always reach out to Lisa and me. Also, if you listen to the recording, you can reach out to us through the platform, obviously, or also via email. You have our contact details in the organizer panel that you see on top in the header, right? And then we would like to thank you for your attention. Anything to add, Lisa?
No, thank you. Of course, you can contact us anytime. Please do not hesitate to do so. And yes, if there are really no more questions, I think you're full with information now. The backend is also a lot to digest, I think, for the first time. But yes, thanks everybody, and hope to see you again at our next desired trainings and events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.